Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the most recent patch in Guild Wars 2, which I should have done yesterday, where they added something new, a new festival we haven't seen in the game just yet called the Lunar New Year, and indeed for this year it is the Year of the Ram. This is actually a returning festival we saw once a long time ago back during Guild Wars 1 in the remote region of Cantha, where around this time every year, around the end of January to early February, we would see the Canthans celebrate their coming of the new year. Of course, this is now probably a thing in Guild Wars 2 since it's released in China now, and this special event used to, in the previous game, actually be quite substantive. It included a ton of new stuff. There was a whole section of one of the major cities in the game that would be locked off until only a couple of times throughout the year when special festivities occurred. You'd be able to go in there and play all different kinds of mini-games. The Guild Wars 2 version is a little bit stripped down. Honestly, it's probably the most stripped down festival we've seen added to the game to date, but I do want to talk about it, the things that have been added with this patch. Mostly what we can see physically change with Tyria is Divinity's Reach, and indeed the new district, the Crown Pavilion, has now been decorated with a bunch of Canthan themed designs. Whether they freshly created these assets or they've existed in the game elsewhere already, maybe they pulled them from very early development when there was going to be a whole Canthan district, I'm not entirely sure. But they have thrown up a couple of things there in an attempt to make the area look pretty good. I did see a pretty interesting thread on Reddit in which people were discussing the fact that supposedly the Crown Pavilion, which was once the Great Collapse, was before the Great Collapse supposed to be the Canthan and Arts District. And the idea was that if you look at it very black and white, it's like, oh, all the Canthans in Divinity's Reach had a place to call home. They, many of them died in this collapse. The Shining Blade seemed like they're trying to cover it up. Many people lost their jobs, and then instead of actually rebuilding this district into something the Canthans could use, the Queen just erected it as a monument to herself, basically. And now, as one final kind of FU, they've turned it into some grim memorial of Cantha for this festival. However, you do have to remember that I believe in-game it was never ever stated to have been the Canthan district. This was just like early stuff that never really made it into the builds for Guild Wars 2. There is one NPC outside Ebonhawk who mentions it's something about being an arts district, but I'm pretty sure Cantha doesn't appear there. And so it's kind of an interesting idea, but I'm not sure it holds the whole way through. Anyway, so what has changed in DR? They don't even have a different loading screen. You should be able to see the footage of me running around in there right now, in addition to a few decorations in Divinity's Reach and in the World vs. World Borderlands. You can now find Canthan fireworks. These are your standard kind of, hey, press F to slice this pumpkin style thing. If you do enough each day, like building snowmen, for example, over Winter's Day we just had, you'll find that you can get a daily achievement for this. But as far as I'm aware, there is no, like, collections coming into the game with this festival. The items that you can acquire can really be summed up very quickly and are mostly acquired through some new items they've given us, which are Lunar Fortunes. Now, again, in the first game, these were these really cool items that you could trade, like, tokens for. So you'd play mini-games, almost like gambling, right? You'd play these mini-games, you'd get tokens, and then you could trade the tokens in for these fortunes. They'd be consumables, you'd double-click, and if you got really, 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 really lucky, you'd get a super rare mini-pet. And that mini-pet changed each year, depending on which, you know, real-life Chinese New Year it was supposed to be. You know, was it the Year of the Dragon? Was it the Year of the Pig? And so forth. And so this year, what we get from these, like the big reward is, if you get very, very lucky, you can find a back piece dropping out of these. It's the Lucky Ram back piece. And this also has a upgraded version too. Once you've got the Lucky Ram, you can drop it in the Mystic Forge, along with some Elonian wine, a stack of luck, you know, the low tier luck, so it's really not very difficult to get. And basically you can pull out of it an even better version, which I actually think really looks really good with Liss's current look, and I kind of want to get. But the way this works is every day you can only buy a select number of these tokens unless you're playing a lot of Dragon Arena, which is a returning minigame that's been added for this festival. I'll talk about it in just a second. But they can be quite expensive. So for example, it's a gold for each fortune, and that might seem kind of scary. It might, because you'll see on the vendor list, okay, you can buy 10 of these if you want for 10 gold, but only one set per day. So really what you want to do is log in every day and buy 10 of these each day. And that might seem like a lot of gold, but what you should consider, and you should be seeing from the footage here, is very expensive stuff can drop from just a single one of these. They cost a gold to buy, but you can get an item come out of it which is worth as junk to any vendor 8 gold, 88 silver, 88 copper. I think they're trying to do like a lucky number 8 style thing here. And so, from my experience, I've either broken even or come very close to my initial investment, but come out with a bunch of new stuff as well. Maybe I didn't get the back piece, but I did get myself a bunch of luck and also a whole bunch of new foods which have been added to the game. Some of these are really interesting. Now, they all have a universal buff on them which will increase your magic find during Lunar New Year by, you know, 25% or so. In addition to that as well, when you log in game, you'll notice you actually have a red magic find icon on you now. During Lunar New Year, everyone will have a flat 15% boost to Magic Find 2. So basically, if you use these foods and run around during this event just doing normal Guild Wars 2 stuff, you actually got a lot more Magic Find than you might otherwise be expecting. And I've seen a lot of bonfires, Magic Find bonfires and stuff, of people just trying to boost that and, you know, really play into it. But some of these foods can be quite cool. They do have unique effects. My most interested one right now was the rice balls that they've got, which give you 100 healing power flat and a further plus 10% effectiveness to outgoing heals, and that seems really fun to run on, you know, my stupid healing power Ellie, where you just stack tons and tons of outgoing healing effectiveness. So you run like monk runes, you take the new water grandmaster, you take the sigil of benevolence, and you just kind of go nuts with it. So yeah, a bunch of new foods, a bunch of luck to be acquired, and you can often get a big return on your investment. And if you get very, very lucky, you could get one of these new back pieces. So that's one of the main mechanics that is in play here. Now, you can avoid the daily cap, or you're limited every day to only be able to buy 16, basically. But if you play Dragon Arena, you can get around this somewhat through achievements. So the Dragon Arena has returned, and here you will find there are achievements for the festival. Dragon Arena has appeared in the game before. This is the very cool classic style arena shooter almost in Guild Wars 2, where you've got a bunch of pickups. You have no self-heal. You need to run around collecting pickups to actually heal yourself up, like in FPSs where maybe you'd have to find med packs. There are buffs all around the map and pickups you can get to increase your character's pool of abilities they can use, and even really powerful ones like stealth that won't give you revealed when you start attacking people. So you can totally invisible just hammer into someone, but it only spawns once in the middle of the map, and it's a risk to get there, and you've got to be watching respawn timers and stuff. Has a very classic FPS feel to it for me, and is an awful lot of fun. But maybe not everyone's cup of tea. At the end of the day, it's another PvP-ish activity. Speaking of activities, I'll go through the patch notes in just a second, but activities have been fixed largely with this whole costume brawl thing for a long time now. People have been able to go into costume brawl, summon stuff like their sous chefs or whatever amount of ads they like, or begin using their utility skills, and through this just devastate people in ways they're not supposed to be able to through the activity system. So they have fixed that now, and I'm kind of sad to see it go. I've not really talked about it on the channel because it's blatant exploit-y stuff, but man, some of that was fun if you just did it without, you know, really taking massive liberties. So, talking about the gem store for a second, they did add some new stuff while the patch itself was a little bit small. There is the Imperial outfit in the game now. Imperial looks so cool. There used to be an armor set as well, I think, called the Imperial set. I remember getting on my Assassin in the first game. Man, that looked awesome. This does look cool, but the thing is, I just worked on a new outfit for Liz, so I'm not really sure if I want to buy it or upgrade at the moment. But that is a decent outfit. I'll probably regret it if I don't end up buying it. There is a new mail carrier as well. Should be footage of this. I do wonder with this new mail carrier as well, you can see some vague text on the envelope. I wonder whether that's actual Canthan text, and I wonder if it is saying something in particular about Cantha. I've not really touched on this very much, but though it seems very much that ArenaNet aren't interested in Cantha at the moment, we're not going to be going there for a long time, it still makes me very happy that they are continually nodding back to that continent. It's in that nice place now where they can nod to it without people like me saying, oh, this could mean we're going to Cantha, and typing furiously at our keyboards. Instead, it's just, oh, you know, they're including the wider lore, and they're doing that because that's something they should be doing, and that's fun to think about, rather than, oh, these are constant setups for future expansions and stuff like that, which are, you know, obviously quite distant right now, considering Heart of Thorns is just the Maguma jungle. And lastly, of note, we have a new set of Blackline weapons. I love this set. The thing is, it's like I've said, because of collections now, I don't think I want to do it, because I'll unlock another collection, my OCD will start triggering. But these look really, really awesome, and Dolphy did point out one thing of note is that the Warhorn does have a different sound effect. They occasionally do this with Warhorns. So the Warhorn now has like a lion's roar, a very bestial roar to it, rather than the default sound effect. So if you are interested in the Warhorn, it's going to be a bit like the Super Adventure Box one, in that you get a cool different sound. I don't think it tops the Super Adventure Box one, to be honest, and there's a reason why the Super Adventure Box one is so damn expensive, but yeah, it's worth considering. Also, there has been data mining. That shaman did find a bunch of stuff that looks like some of the old headgears we could find associated with this event from the first game. Hopefully I'll have some images up on the screen for you guys of that right now, but we don't know exactly when those will come in, and I'd rather not speculate too much on that just yet. Moving over to the patch notes, they do specify here one thing I just didn't, and that's that while you're opening the lucky envelopes, it will consider your magic finds. So if you pop a magic find booster before opening those, you're going to go a lot further, probably get a much higher chance to get the backpack. I don't know whether that's then going to affect your chances to get the more expensive junk items, but it's worth considering. It also means, obviously, with some of this new food, you may as well pop the new food before opening a bunch of those. They do say Wild vs. Wild Siege skins have been changed temporarily in celebration of the Lunar New Year. I did buy a bunch and attempt to get you guys footage, but as I was building Siege, I got wrecked by a bunch of assholes in the Borderlands that were running around taking camps. It makes me very sad that my only experiences ever of Wild vs. Wild are being zerged down by other people, even in small groups, because I'm in there alone. But that's exactly what happened once again. So yeah. That's about it, guys. That's the patch as far as I can see in a nutshell. If I've missed anything massive, I will talk about it tomorrow, because it seems eerily little that I've had to say here. But there you go. Do expect another video, maybe even later on tonight, because the Guild Wars 2's live stream, Points of Interest, with more, obviously, really cool information should be coming out today. This is the bonus one that they're doing, so I will have my eye on that. I'll be producing a second video on that as soon as possible. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Lunar New Year, and I guess I will see you in just a short while. Catch you next time, everyone.